So Ian cited some interesting points, not a lot of points on this chart, but still very interesting. There's also some research suggesting that people who are more intelligent are more likely to suffer from depression and more likely to suffer from many of the same debilitating conditions and suffer more cognitive damage from negative life events like losing jobs and things like that. So this point on serotonin, following this speech, I'm going to splice an evidence which suggests that serotonin is actually inversely proportional to neuroplasticity, suggesting that serotonin, being that which binds together neural states, and it is that you could say a static property of cognitive functions, which creates that assertiveness, which is evolutionarily healthy to be reinforced through confidence and through what we think of as happiness. Happiness is of course throughout the animal kingdom correlated with either surpassing benign threats, which we call humor, and when another animal actually exhibits characteristics which we associate with happiness, it's in other ways expressing some degree of superiority over either their conditions or other creatures. Also, of course, going on to on the points regarding how this has emerged through an evolutionary process, that's primarily what I jotted down before I got here. There's what's known as hyperactive agency detection in evolutionary biology, especially cognitive physiology. It's what is humans are more predisposed to recognize things which they do not know as being something which has agency, because that which has agency is of more significance. It's always better evolutionarily for the survival of the species. Sorry. It's always better evolutionarily. It's always better evolutionarily for the survival of a species to assume that whatever it is that they detect that they do not know of carries more significance than it does. That way, that they can overcompensate for it without, and there's not really much harm from trying to escape the situation, whereas there may be harm from overlooking a potential agent. Then, of course, humans, through our evolutionary process of organizing with other humans and recognizing them quickly, we have characteristics which would more predispose us to anthropomorphize our environments, to see faces in clouds and rocks and things. This characteristic also makes us more likely to assume that the factors which are unseen, we're more likely to see, the face in the clouds, and assume that this is the cause for rain, for the sun, for the moon, for the whole number of things, love, war, sex, tornadoes, volcanoes, stars, whatever, which there has been a long history of gods being associated with. I mean, ancient cultures doing rain dances as an explanation for why rain happens, or to appease these gods. So I mean, obviously we no longer think that it's gods are responsible for these things. Like, you don't believe in rain gods, you don't believe that the sun is a god, you don't believe that the moon is a god, you don't believe in a war god, you don't believe in a god of sex and pleasure. So This is known as God of the gaps, when you substitute a God for that which you don't know. Moving on. So the point regarding Dawkins about that religion is inherently a parasitic belief, not necessarily true. I mean, I don't, in terms of evolution, I do not, the things which create what we know as religion evolutionarily are the same things which create those previously mentioned advantages in survival. And the differences in happiness also being explained by a lower degree of neuroplasticity, a lower degree of confidence, and it is that confidence which causes one to stay steadfast or dogmatic in whatever they think, and it's that confidence that is the differing factor in happiness. Yeah, so humans are evolved to survive and thrive, not to understand truth. So the same factors which generate religion are factors which I mentioned have evolutionary utility and therefore, but not necessarily truth value. What Ian cited was a number of arguments. For instance, he gave the example of the evolutionary utility of a Paleolithic diet. The evolutionary utility of a Paleolithic diet, he then showed to have utility, but that does not demonstrate that in any abstract sense about anything that is beyond the ability to test. I mean, all you really showed through that was that there is evolutionary utility to that particular diet. So, I mean, it's really just a circular argument, which, whether the things that affect us are the truth values that have evolutionary utility. And in every way that religion does affect us, in every way that can be measured, or that we have figured out ways to measure, the evolutionary utility of not believing in that particular superstition has yielded to a more secular and higher prosperity, higher degree of social welfare. So then finally, closing with these health benefits of superstition, there can certainly be benefits to a higher degree of confidence. If you have a high degree of confidence that you will get better, you will probably get better because it is not any sort of cognitive deficiency that usually is the cause of particular illnesses. It's very often caused by something else entirely in the body. So a high degree of confidence cognitively is fine. I mean, there's no need for any sort of cognitive plasticity in those situations. So what is natural in a situation where you're not confident, especially when you're in illness, is to completely reanalyze your life, and that's going to use up a lot of your energy, a lot of energy which could otherwise be used naturally for your body to fight off illness. So something that I can't do a case study, unfortunately, on is whether or not the people who had superstitions of the past about the causes of rain, the causes of volcanoes, earthquakes, flooding, whether the people that had those beliefs also had a higher degree of, were more likely to survive fatal illnesses than those who doubted it for logical reasons.